JJ the CPA here. Hope you're doing well. Wanted to do a quick video on the SBA and the PPP. I do have a couple of them already, but I'm getting a number of questions. So thanks for watching, and thank you so much for the questions and interest. I'm trying to keep up with it as much as I can. So here's the deal. The question is, can you get both? Both being an SBA loan and the PPP. So let's clarify on the SBA loan. There's also known as the COVID-19 SBA loan. It's also known as the Economic Injury Disaster Loan and Loan Advance underneath the COVID-19. Some people are calling it just because this is the acronym, the EIDLLA or the EIDL. Okay, that's all online. That's SBA. And there's a lot of different things that you can qualify for to get that. You know, there's a $10,000, there's a $25,000, a little bit of unsecured. It requires collateral. You're going to have to pay it back. You're going to need to provide a lot of the normal documentation that you would when getting a loan. Okay, so let's just be clear that the PPP is not that, and you don't go online for it. Period. The end. Okay, so I've already had people that like, hey, I found it, it's up, it's online, I can do the app. So today is March 29th. The law was just passed on the 27th, so it's really not possible that they have it up that quick. When I called banks on 3/26, or when I texted banks 3/26, 8 a.m., not one of them knew about it because it had just been put into play by the Senate like hours ago. So there is going to need to be a little time for the government to just get the logistics, for the banks to catch up, and for the wheelbarrows to head to the banks so that the banks can start handing out the PPP. So that's a long way of also saying that you're only going to be able to get the Paycheck Protection Program money from a bank, period. Now, what's causing a little confusion is that the SBA is overseeing it, but see, the SBA is the Small Business Administration, okay? So anything related to small business, you got SBA involved. So just be clear that yes, this is related to SBA, but I had a video the other day that if you look at section 1112 of the CARES Act, it indicates there that yes, the PPP has been introduced. It's part of the SBA programs, if you will. Okay, but specifically the PPP is excluded from all of these other requirements that are normally with quote unquote SBA loans. So if you hear about a 7A loan, okay, a 7A loan, all that means is there's a code section and it's paragraph 36 or 39. That's kind of irrelevant, but you hear 7A, well, if you're getting a 7A loan, then you have to have this. And the thing to know is that's just a code section, and that is talking about, in essence, an SBA loan. So when you're talking about the PPP, something to note here is that it's a program. It's not a paycheck protection loan. It is a paycheck protection program. And if you think about it, in the sense that it's really not a loan, okay? Because if you look at the law, like I had, and you'll see another video, it literally indicates to the banks that when the money comes, it's already approved. The bank does need to approve it, but all they're approving is that you qualify. And by qualifying, there's 4 factors to it. We've talked about it in other videos. And when you're qualifying, you're giving some minor little bit of information. And so the bank's not approving jack. What the bank's just approving is, you know, this is a real company and they have been in business, but 3 years of this and year to date that and all that good stuff, not going to be required. I don't care what you tell me. It's not. So the reason I give all that background is because in the videos and in the comments, even with all that, I'm now getting the questions that come into play related to, can you get both? The short answer is yes, okay? But this is why you would not want to, in my opinion, is that when you're getting the PPP, You do have to disclose. The bank somehow is just inquiring, and if I guess they're aware of it, they would then for sure know. But you have to indicate if you're getting other funding, okay? Now, this is not existing funding. This isn't about a line of credit. This is talking about if you're getting, loans, SBA. There are a ton of other ones, okay? There's not just this COVID-19. There's just regular SBA. There's one for specifically for women. There's one specifically for this, okay? There's not just one, okay? So if you're getting this COVID-19 SBA loan online, then when you go to get the PPP, you're going to need to reduce down the amount that you're getting by the amount that you're getting from the SBA, okay? Because in essence, they're there to help in the disaster and the crisis and the same thing. So the other aspect, as I'm reading it, that if you have the COVID-19 SBA disaster loan, that then whatever you get on the PPP, okay, that amount of what you got on the SBA will not be a forgivable amount in the PPP. Now, what does that actually mean? Okay, so let's just use some numbers. You get $25,000 on the COVID-19 disaster SBA EIDL, whatever you want to call it, right? You went online, you get your 25 grand, okay? You can get more, but you get your 25. So let's say that you got your 25,000 and now you're going to qualify and you get 75,000 on the PPP, okay? So you're getting the 75,000. First of all, you need to disclose it. It should be reduced for it. But let's say somehow you get through and you get your 75, okay? Well, then without a doubt, 25 of that 75, you will not be able to get forgiven, okay? So at the end of the day, you're just wanting the triple P. Now, you can get your triple P, and if you go later to get the SBA, well, then what happens there? That amount of the PPP that you got, take whatever you got from the SBA, and that amount of your PPP is not forgivable, okay? So the purpose of the PPP is to help with the crisis. Same thing with the COVID-19 and economic injury disaster loan, right? The COVID-19. So the biggest thing to just keep in mind is this, okay? I know that you need the money right now. You're in a panic or your clients need it. And I know that SBA is up there, the COVID-19. It's online and you can fill out the paperwork and you're supposed to get your money lickety-split, which is wonderful and awesome, okay? But that's already been around. And why? Because they got after that and started providing it ASAP, okay? The CARES Act came out on Friday, the March 27th, hasn't had time. I mean, people don't work, the government doesn't work on Saturday and Sunday. So they're going to get there Monday. I'm sure they're already working on it. But my point is they haven't had enough time to put together any of the programs to get the wheelbarrows lined up here, so to speak. So if you're getting the PPP or you're planning to get the PPP, I don't know why you get the SBA, because it's supposed to be really for the same things. The PPP is going to be all forgivable, where with the SBA, you're going to have to pay it back, period, the end. So then I'm also hearing things about, well, what about the SBA forgivable loan, okay? If you're going with SBA, kind of like what's out in the world right now, terminology in the world, okay? SBA is the COVID-19, not forgivable, okay? Up here is the SBA, okay? SBA has all kinds of activities and grants and incentivizing different sectors and different kinds of loans for this or that or real estate or the disaster, okay? There's not just one SBA loan, okay? There's all kinds of stuff that the SBA does. That would be basically, you are looking at, that is the division of the government, okay? That is helping small businesses. So yes, it is technically true that up here you're seeing language calling Small Business Administration, and over here is the triple PP, and over here is the COVID-19, and in here you're seeing a paragraph 7A, okay? And so everybody's assuming, okay, well, if it's part of this and I see a 7A and here's the COVID, then this must be the same thing over here on the triple P, and it's not. It's a program. It's not a loan. Okay? Technically, it is not a loan. It is purely a gift. The only way it turns into a loan is if you don't have enough qualified expenses to match what it is that you got. Does that make sense? It's a program. The program is what's your payroll, a couple other things, divided by 12 times 2.5. Here's your amount of money. Okay? Here's when you have to spend it. Here's your qualified expenses. You do that, boom, you don't have to pay it back. If you can't, then what you didn't use within the right period of time in the qualified, well, then you're going to have to pay back. And, you can defer out payments 6 months, no later than 12. You can make payments for 10 years, 4% loan interest. Okay. That's a program. It becomes a loan when you can't pay it back. So at the end of the day, it would be best to not use the language of forgivable SBA loan because it's easily confusing. If you're saying SBA, okay, then think in your mind, it's the online, it's the COVID-19, because that's the popular one that everyone's talking about. If you're thinking forgivable, think PPP, Paycheck Protection Program. PPP you get at the bank, and the SBA you get online. Now there's even confusing there, right? Because you can get SBA loans, right? There's SBA lenders, right? So then there's been confusion of, well, do I need to go to an SBA lender? The answer is no, because even when you look inside the CARES Act, it indicates that SBA lenders can then apply and qualify to be able to do the PPP. So I know right now that everybody's like itching, rightfully so, like, hey, I want to get the PPP. And I've already talked till I'm blue in the face that the ones that are online don't do it. I mean, I actually had a friend and I didn't see the text till late, and I followed up with him and I said, dude, what you just sent me, it was Friday, like maybe 4 hours after the law had been put into play with CARES Act. And they're like, dude, it's already out. Here you go. I'm applying for mine now. Got a hold of them late, and I just said, hey, time out. That is not at all the PPP. That's the SBA COVID-19. So it's easy to maybe get confused, but just remember this. You go to a bank to get the PPP. They're not available, okay? It's the 29th of March. When I wake up and on the 30th, I don't think that they're going to be available right then. In talking with some of the bankers that I know, it sounds like there's going to be some massive information coming out from the SBA on Tuesday. Okay, remember, it's just a Small Business Administration, right? It's just a department of the government that handles this stuff. But anyways, information coming out then. I'm waiting patiently and anxiously, just like you, because I do plan to also apply and get the relief as well. But really, at the end of the day, can you do both? Yes. The reason you wouldn't want to is that one's the SBA COVID-19 is gonna reduce down the amount that you can get on the triple P. If you get the triple P and you get the COVID, okay, then the amount of whatever your COVID SBA loan is, that's gonna then in essence make that portion of your triple P or your triple P unforgivable. So you want to separate the two. This is definitely one where I'm sure in the confusion and everybody arriving, there's only so much a bank can do to verify the information. So if you end up with both, the government's going to know. There's no way that they don't know. It's not even possible because both came from the government. So, all right. Hey, hopefully that answered the question, and I appreciate you listening. And I'd love it if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel. And then don't you ever forget,